everyone. Hope everyone is having a great day. I'm Nate Wendt from the St. Charles Business Alliance, joined here also with Laura from the St. Charles Business Alliance.
Hi there.
We have some special guests today on our Back to Business video. We have marketing gurus that are local here in St. Charles. We have Rich Kaiser and Georgianne Bender joining us here today to talk about some amazing tips and strategies as businesses begin to reopen. So, Rich, Georgianne, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. We haven't seen each other in a long time. Our office is in St. Charles for the last 30 years, and it is sitting empty. We're waiting until the time we open up the state and we can get back to work like everyone else, right?
But we're doing the new deal, right? We're all electronic now, so we don't need to go to the offices frequently, but we're still conducting a lot of business across the United States and Canada with retailers.
Like everybody, we're zoomed out like everybody else. We're good.
We're Zoomers.
Well, may I just say, Georgianne, your home is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yes, quite a background.
Yeah.
So, but let's get into some of
the... Like my chandelier?
I do. Yes. Yeah, you like mine?
Very nice.
So let's get into some of the tips and strategies for businesses to reopen. So we'll let you guys take the floor, and we'll go from there. Sound good?
Yeah. So first of all, we want to give you a resource, and that's retailadventuresblog.com. And on our blog, we are putting the weekly webinars that we do on getting your stores ready to reopen. And we also put articles on there. This whole series is called Retail During and After COVID-19. So one of the things that we've been doing a lot lately, Rich and I, is talking to different retail groups and retailers and about opening their stores. Now in Illinois, we haven't hit the third phase yet. We're just in the one where you can still do curbside. Our stores aren't open yet. And the biggest thing that we can recommend to people, and you have to do your own research, is to find out what the state of Illinois' guidelines are. And if there are county guidelines or even community guidelines, and follow them to the absolute letter, because there are fines that you can get if you don't. If you try and open early, that's going to be a problem. You do not want to do that. So the first thing is to follow everything absolutely to the letter.
Yeah.
I think something really interesting has happened because of this environment that we're in. We've spoken to so many retailers that have been on Facebook Live that have had the curbside delivery go absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's actually interesting because when we talk to them, we're finding that it's not only their customers, but it's other people that have heard and by confession have said, I've never been in your store, by saying, I never knew you. And so one of the things that we're hearing is that we're generating a new customer in some cases, not all cases, but what it's telling us is people are still wanting to buy and ready to buy, but we're
dying to buy. We're itching to buy. We can't wait to get back.
That's true.
We can't wait. We spent a couple of hours last week in Jill Card's Jeans and a Cute Top Shop, and we filmed a video about how to get your store ready. And we talked about everything from merchandising, how you can't stop merchandising your store just because it's closed, because people are walking by and they're looking in and they need to see new and wonderful things. There are signing that has to happen. And there's a resource on our blog where you can download every sign imaginable. It was put together by the Kroger grocery store company. They shared their generic sign package. You have to have signs talking about hand sanitizers and how often to wash your hands and social distancing and wearing masks and putting stickers on the floor so people know how far away they need to be, and plexiglass dividers to keep your cashier safe. If we got the okay to open our stores tomorrow, it would be foolish to open your store tomorrow if you weren't ready, if you didn't have a written plan in effect, if your associates didn't understand exactly how to follow that, because we're talking about a virus here that, if we don't follow the rules in opening our businesses, can make people sick. And you don't want that laid on your store that, I got sick in George's store.
I think a lot of retailers, and maybe not restaurants as much, they're so anxious to open that sometimes we lose sight of the reason why we're closed,
Right.
and they just want to open. So it's really, you're hitting the nail on the head. You really are. You have to remember why we're closed.
They
Yeah.
can open. They just have to, I'm sorry, Rich. They can open. They just need to get their ducks in a row now. You can certainly get your signing ready. You can get the plexiglass ordered. You can be talking to your employees and have your written plan. You can have all those things done. So if we do open tomorrow, you're ready. But if you don't have those things done, Laura, it's exactly what you said. I'm sorry, Rich.
We've been having these discussions from Saskatchewan to San Antonio and everywhere in between with retailers. And here's what we're really coming down to is that you're right. There are certain critical things that you've got to do, some legal and some just really good taste. On the second front is the customer coming back when they can come back. And what they're looking for is something that's going to elevate them. They're looking to feel good about what's happening in your store. What does that mean? That means that the way your store looked 3 months ago and they left better start changing now so that when they come in, they're shocked about, man, this is really great. This is beautiful. What have you
done? Old merchandise.
Yeah. You know what? We walked into some stores down in the south part of the United States. And when we got in, it was exactly what they had when the whole thing came up and blew up in everybody's.
We didn't walk into those stores. We did it virtually via Zoom, where we were giving tours around the store because obviously we can't travel yet.
Right.
So just so you know, we're following the rules too.
Here's what we said. Right now, we're all concerned about health and prevention, and we have to have a campaign in our businesses about that, so that customers will be exposed to really why do we do the things we do, and aren't you glad we're doing them for you? On the other side of the coin, we have a Disney experience for them. We've got to create some excitement to loop them in and make them want to come back. So all things being equal, what we're going to do is get rid of the virus, we hope, and create a new customer base with our older customers loving a store that they've never been in before.
You know, we're going to be in this situation until we find a vaccination. And Rich and I call it the now normal. We're not the new normal yet. We're not there yet. It's the now normal. And in the now normal, things change every other day. So we have to pivot. I mean, I think of some of the stores that we have in St. Charles and surrounding communities. We have a lot of apparel stores. Well, you can't have if you have more than one fitting room, you have to separate the fitting rooms because you have to social distance people. And then when the customer leaves the fitting room, you have to clean it. If you have more than one restroom stall, you have to social distance that. And then when it's over, you have to go in and sanitize the restroom more than ever. If people are touching your front speed bump racks, those have to be sanitized, credit card machines. So it's the now normal that we're living in right now.
The now normal.
Yeah, Georgianne, I'd like to talk about that topic too. So how best can businesses adapt to the now normal?
Learn to pivot.
Okay.
Now, we said a couple of minutes ago that you need to follow the guidelines for our state. So for the state of Illinois, they're pretty stringent. We need to follow them. Nobody's going to tell you what those are. You need to do the research. Or if you have someone who you can assign that to in your business, assign it to someone who can update you daily. You know, we have a lot of retailers across the country who are selling now on social media, and restaurants that are doing deliveries like crazy. And some of our clients are making more money selling on Facebook Live than they ever made in their stores.
Absolutely true.
Right? One woman we talked to yesterday owns a quilting and sewing center. She this month will make $100,000 more than what she made in her store because she does daily Facebook Lives. Nate, that's pivoting. And that's not going to go away. You know, when this, even when we have a vaccination and everything is, when the now normal becomes the new normal, customers like to buy online. That's not going to replace brick and mortar, but you're going to still you have two stores now. You have a brick and mortar store, you have an online store. You have a brick and mortar restaurant, you have a carrier.
Well, and that's one thing that I've said about when and if this goes away, the restaurants right now have created a whole takeout menu.
Yes.
Don't get rid of it.
No.
It needs to stay on there. And it can be a whole new point of revenue. You know, if people, you know, right away we think, oh, I don't feel like going out tonight. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cook. You can go get takeout.
So we don't live, I'm sorry, Rich, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we've entered an arena. That's sad to say. I mean, the virus is a horrible thing, but what it's made it us do was we've got a double growth pattern here. And the double growth pattern is we have new customers coming in that have never been, because we're selling on Facebook Live and Facebook at the and delivery at the curb, and we're also now starting to let some people come in. So the whole thing about it is that what we've got is we've got customers coming from all directions that we didn't have before, and that is an advantage. But I hate to even use that term in this conversation because of the cause.
Right.
We have to be realistic and take a look and say, we are in business. And that lady that had that tremendous sales leap did it very, very easily just by doing that on Facebook Live. And so.
Oh, looks like Rich, you froze a little bit, but.
Well, I want to add something to that. So Rich and I live 90 minutes apart, and we chose St. Charles as our home because 31 years ago we stuck a pin in a map and we lucked out because it landed on St. Charles.
Right.
And so we follow a lot of the businesses, know a lot of people. I have driven to do my grocery shopping at Blue Goose, and I do that not only because I like the store and I like Paul, but because of what he's doing on social media that's telling me, we have hand sanitizers, we have toilet paper, we have meat, we have this, come on in, we're doing it for you, we're at the markets at 3 a.m, we're making sure, come on, how do I not want to support that? And I live 30 miles away. And then Two Wild Seeds.
Right.
Their Instagram is amazing. Their Instagram stories, they're showing us recipes and things that they can make. And so we go down there and we buy baked goods from them. It's, people want to support small businesses now. We're grateful that we have the big stores like Walmart and Target because they're keeping the majority of, Americans in food, but it's the little ones who are going to be the winners if they continue to engage with customers during the pandemic. You're back.
There you are, Rich. We got you.
Well, and
You know what? I made just an incredible futuristic a statement that was going to change everybody's life and make them all up.
Can't remember it.
Can't remember it.
Darn
Laura was saying something.
Oh, I know what I was saying. And I was talking about St. Charles specifically. We said maybe everybody ought to have a slogan to let the public know we're in it and we're in it to win it. And that would be, as we're having a cup of coffee on the sidewalk at a Starbucks, the slogan was St. Charles. And then underneath it, it should say St. Charles strong and retail ready. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be great if we had windows around the city that said something like that? Because that kind of a contract that if you put it in your window, you've just written a contract that you're going to be retail.
Right.
okay. So one of the things that I have noticed is that the successful businesses are the ones that have not gone dark throughout this whole thing. Continue, even if you're not open, continue to post things.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Two Wild Seeds did recipes, and she taught us how to create and cook new things, and it was really interesting, and it still is.
Yeah.
So,
We have recommended to our clients that you need to up the number of email blasts that you do. So if you normally do 1 email blast a month, you need to do between 2 and 4.
Right.
Because engaging with them and connecting with customers and staying in their face is important. Because here's the thing: those retailers that you're talking, those retailers and businesses that are going blank, dark. The reason that's a really bad idea is because not only you get behind the 8 ball, but customers forget.
yes.
Customers forget. So if I went to a certain restaurant all the time and I loved it, but that restaurant went dark, and I fall in love with another restaurant that can provide me with the same sort of meal and I feel good about it, guess where I'm going when this is over?
Right.
Yeah. And yet we've met retailers who are frozen and they just haven't done a thing yet. They're just sitting, waiting. They're paralyzed.
So
Opportunity.
if a retailer or a restaurant or any type of business wants to get more information on how to be retail ready, and what did you say, Rich? I I can't
Retail
remember.
ready. St. Charles strong and
St.
retail
Charles
ready.
strong and
There you
retail
go.
ready.
Strong and retail ready, yeah.
So where, I know you provided some information at the beginning of this, so where would they go to get information or maybe to get a consultation from you guys?
Okay, you can go to our website, which is kaiserandbender.com, and you can see under my name there, it's KIZERANDBENDER.com. And when
Okay.
you go to kaiserandbender.com, at the very top of the page, right across the top, there's a link that will take you to each one of our retail during and after COVID-19 webinars. And then you go down a little bit farther, and there's a link to our Retail Adventures blog and a link to our Retail Adventures podcast. So you can get it all in one place.
I'll tell you one thing that it literally changed the scope of a business area we were working with out of the country, up north of us. We were talking to them about Facebook and Facebook Live. And yeah, everybody kind of looked at us and said, really, we're in the middle of this pandemic and you're talking about how do we continue to get in front of a customer, make a sale and make a sale. And they did the things that we said to do. And we got phone calls back that said, oh my goodness, this has been an incredible change. They were just doing great business. If the people in St. Charles that have stores would grab a hold of that same concept, if they hear us and we'll tell them what they did and how you got to do it, I'm telling you, it'll drive customers into the business. And when you do that, guess what happens? The retailer gets all excited. When they get excited, they make things happen. The store is brighter, it's better set. They're telling other people about it. And all of a sudden, the central area becomes a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's got to be, because we've got to be standing tall when this thing stops and falls flat on its face.
So here's looking forward to phase 3.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So with that, that's all the time that we have. So we're going to have just one more minute where Georgianne, Rich, if you guys want to say anything to the St. Charles community, now is the time. So anything that you guys would like to say.
I do. And I'll
So-
speak for both of us when I say this. St. Charles has been our community for the last 30 years. We've been here. We've been in 3 different locations. We've had offices downtown. Now we're in a big old farmhouse out on East Main Street. We love this community and we love the retailers here, and we reach out frequently to offer our assistance. If you want to call us, you want to talk. And generally in your own hometown, you don't get a lot of response. Well, we're in a pandemic now, and things are different and harder and tougher. And you have 2 experts here who are nationally renowned, and we're offering our services. If you want to talk about anything, give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, the doctor's in the house and we got medicine.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we will have a link to your video or to your Facebook page on Facebook, so people will be able to find you.
So, and with
Thank
that, so
you,
that
guys.
wraps up our back to business video for this segment. We're going to try and have some more coming out there, but thank you again, Rich and Georgianne, for coming on the
Thank you for having
video
me.
today. So with that, have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.